Raquel, and you are at the Sensual Sessions podcast, the place to explore sensing pleasure through your senses and moving in a way that is completely free from inhibition and full of self expression. If you haven't already, please get yourself signed up to get these episodes delivered on your inbox weekly at www.centraldepoder.com. And today we have a very special guest. This is Harmon. She's a dance teacher. She's a certified Gaga instructor. She danced at the Kamea Dance Company in Beersheba and toured around the world. She was part also of our Austin 2 Dance Company, and she's currently in Boston, Massachusetts. She teaches at Harvard, and I am very excited to ask her about life and dancing, especially how is it to dance in the middle of the most challenging situations in life. And before we dive deep into that tremendous and meaningful question, I want to ask you, Anna, what inspired you to embark on this journey of dancing? Can you recall the moment in your life when you said, like, okay, this is it, like my life is gonna be devoted to movement and arts?
Wow. Ooh, it's an ongoing decision, and truthfully, I feel I make the decision every day. I wouldn't say it was a one-time commitment. um, there was a moment very early in my life. I was in kindergarten where we had a talent show, and I had never had any formal dance training. Obviously, I was 5 years old, but I told my family I was going to do a dance performance because I am a dancer and I know how to dance. And I went up on stage with my little tiny, tape recorder of, I think it was Swan Lake, maybe. And I did this like really incredible, apparently, I don't remember, but I wowed the audience. And all my teachers were like, wow, where did she do all her training? She's 5. How did she become such a highly trained dancer? And of course, yeah, and everyone learned I had never trained at all, but I had a lot of confidence in what I was doing. So I guess from an early age, I'm grateful that I had a lot of encouragement that I can dance. I dance, before I had any training. And I think later in life, as I continue to participate in the dance world, I look at the alternative to dancing, which is, let's say being static and still. And at the end of the day, I always choose movement over the alternative. I always choose an option that allows me to both move and encourage others to move, period.
Lovely, lovely. It's very interesting because you had like this authentic certainty, like there was no shadowing of self-consciousness whatsoever or wanting to comply, that you have to study this and this and be like this and this so you can be that is an answer. Like you felt it and you went for it fully. And I love that because I feel that at a certain moment in our lives, we can get a taste of that listening of ourselves. And it's beautiful that you didn't give that away. So you continue your daily choosing and your daily like renewing the vows of
Oh, yeah.
this uh, passionate
And
conviction that you had. But like I feel that is true commitment. It's not only because I say I am into it that I will continue on that journey, but it's like the ongoing being into it. So it's like a continuous that never stopped, but it's not something that was an I love you, let's get married, and then you get married and you forget about it. You forget about the romance. It's like a true cultivation. And I believe this is key in the aspect of sensuality, just as sensing pleasures through your senses and expressing it, being it like just moving, or the way you enjoy touching at the soft screen of your iPhone, or dancing or kissing, or whatever it has to do. Yeah, like this ownership of ourselves that you expressed so clearly, beyond what society or culture says that you should be. So in dance, well, we know it very well. It's one of the most toxic environments that can be, because you are never skinny enough, beautiful enough, flexible enough, strong enough. Nothing ever is good enough. We deal with a lot of frustrations, and this is a great example of anything in our culture. Like if you are an accountant, like the salary is not enough, you want to get like I don't know, a raise in your payment and pay the mortgage and whatever. So there is this never is enough that doesn't have to do with desire, but has to do with, yeah, with a disconnection from our self-worth. So as you keep on going, like your commitment to dance, my next question is, how do you keep the fire brimming? Like, what do you do so the passion, because there's something that you must do on a daily basis. Maybe it's deliberate, maybe it's automatical, but like you've been doing that every day for decades. Otherwise, you wouldn't be dancing now. So
Sure.
could you?
I mean, yeah, I would say for sure. Inside of a professional career, you're also at a really high volume of dance, and it's not even that choice. It almost doesn't become a choice, and those are scary moments when you ask yourself why you're dancing, and you're a dancer, you're a professional dancer. I feel in a way my alignment with dance and movement is much stronger now that I'm sort of in a second career that's more dedicated to education and to sharing dance with others, and being, as opposed to being just viewed in a performance, to facilitating dance. I would say, first of all, that also answers the question of right now, why I continue to dance. Like I don't think I'd still be dancing if it were me. I would, but just for myself, for myself at home. I like dancing, and I can have a good time in my living room. But what's really fueling my research right now is definitely being in dialogue, in physical dialogue with students, with people that are in their golden years, that are dancing in this next, maybe last part of their lives. I really enjoy dancing with people. And by the way, by like 60 plus dancers, really don't care. No inhibition. Like, so it's so much fun to teach this group. The hardest group to teach, and actually the group that probably makes me question sometimes teaching, are sort of adolescents, between 13 to 18. It's a very challenging group to teach. Yeah, I find. But anyway, for the most part, it's the teaching right now that's keeping the fire alive. Also because I feel the teaching is forcing me or encouraging me to learn. The more I teach, the more kind of inadequate I feel, but not in a bad way, in a way where I feel, wow, if I'm going to keep on giving, I have to nourish myself. What am I going to get? I'll tap out. I'll run out of ideas. I'll run out of inspiration. So lately, of course, taking other types of dance classes and discovering other types of movement approaches. That's really been nourishing. I've been doing Feldenkrais, which is sort of one of the earlier lineages of Gaga. I think Ohad's mother was a Feldenkrais teacher.
Yes.
So anyway, these are the things, like my ongoing curiosities about movement, realizing there's so much I don't know. in a sense, I've been so inside of the Gaga world and ballet career, and there's so much out there. So that inspires me. And then, yeah, there are so many people who still don't move. There's so many people who just sadly haven't discovered the pleasure of movement, and that fires me up. Yeah.
Yes, discover the pleasure of movement. And you say curiosity. So it makes a lot of sense that right now what keeps you going is this learning so much as a teacher, this deepening in you being a student by learning more on how to teach better and in a more refined way. So curiosity always talks about desire. So there's like this synergy between the desire and at the same time the endless pleasure of the moment by moment realizations. So then it's not like, yeah, let's get married and forget then about the commitment. It's something that keeps on renewing. Like, yes, this is juicy, fulfilling, delicious, but there is more. So that keeps on circulating. And the thing is here with being okay in a way, with being inadequate as a positive thing. Like, it's okay. Actually, it's great to be undone, to be unresolved, to be incomplete, because then you are an open circle with a space for keep on fulfilling with. But then like this, the diameter opens, and then you want to keep on filling it, and then like you become like I don't know, like a vessel with more ability to contain more information and complexities, and experiences. And this is almost a radical view again, in contrast with our culture striving for topic solidity, wanting to be perfect, complete, completely secured and done. Like, okay, I have my bachelor's degree, that is done, complete. Then I have this identity. Now I want the MBA or the master degrees, and then the PhD, or I want the business, and then I want the next milestone. But it's like, once I get there, I'm finally gonna be happy and complete, which is a terrible trap. I mean, I get it from the, like, I operate with that like mentality 80% of my time. Like, I am an overachiever, just regular neurotic workaholic. Sometimes I remember like, hey, Candia, there's more. Like,
I really appreciate the positive spin on my inadequacy, because it's also very challenging to feel inadequate, especially in a teaching position where you're turned to for all this wisdom, and you feel very often like you don't have maybe the right words, or you feel like you're missing something. But again, I find students can often fill in those words, or that's where you start to look for other resources. Like that's where the opening is created, where you have a lack.
Yes. And in a way, this is a place of humanness and relatability, because you're in the position of a teacher, even though we suffer from imposter syndrome. There's a reason why you are there, or otherwise your colleagues and best friends wouldn't let you make a ridicule if you weren't fitting.
Someone would have kicked me out by now.
Yeah, or the director. But it's like being at the edge and being like transparent about that vulnerability. And I feel that's something that I have learned a lot with Gaga. Like, laugh about yourself. Like, yeah, you're gonna fuck it up and in front of everyone. Like, you're gonna fart at the dinner with the royal family. So you better laugh at it.
Practice.
Try not to do that, but you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we do. It's a real instruction in Gaga that we don't take ourselves seriously. We say it all the time.
yeah,
We just, it's a mantra, not taking ourselves seriously. We can take the work seriously. We can be really, in a way, be very, invest lots of energy and attention to the tasks, to the research, but without taking ourselves seriously. I think they often get stuck.
Yeah, that's key. Without getting like this ego identity or sense of self-worth into it, because it just gets in the way. So then, like with this openness, you invite to the students to have this openness, and this applies to every area of our life, because if we are feeling completely safe and completely like perfect, it's you have it's okay, but it's a very fixed and unadaptable position. There's no much giving and receiving. That is something that you say a lot in Gaga. And once you get clear that your self-worth is not to be questioned under any circumstance, not even if you make the worst mistake ever, you're still a worthy human being. Then you can really be at the present with the totality of yourself. And the totality that in a way is the only way that we can bear and behold our contradictions and the terrible burdens of reality and the world. Like, this is a very practical way to show up in life, like to be present. And at times, especially at trying times, like what we have lived in October 2023, that history will never forget. Reality affects us at different levels, but the whole world is aching and affected. And at times it would feel like maybe weird, or maybe for some people inappropriate to be whole. And I mean, to be whole with the whole of yourself, with all your experiences, including pain and pleasure, when a lot of people is suffering. So I find it very powerful, this ability to behold the contradictions, to like in the movie, in the documentary film, when they interviewed Ohad, that he bears a terrible grief and mourning, I don't know if stills, for his first wife. And he said, like, it's possible to be in a devastating emotional pain, and at the same time it's possible to feel pleasure, because you feel good in your body. So I feel
he has a recent quote that I liked. He was giving an interview for someone where he said that his pain is an anchor to his pleasure, and maybe his pleasure is an anchor to his pain, that they're very connected. I think in a way he sees Gaga as like this antidote to pain. As much pain as we need, that's as much negating of gravity that we need. The more pain we're experiencing, the more we need to invite pleasure into our lives. Otherwise we just sink, otherwise we are shaped by gravity and it's game over,
we flatline.
Yeah. And I wanted to go back just to something about this wholeness versus brokenness versus, and then what we said earlier about being inadequate, and that this inadequacy opens up space. I felt very much this month that, of course, my heart was breaking, really, felt it physically. My heart was tearing up inside into all these pieces. And something that made me feel a little bit better was that I felt my heart was breaking, but it was expanding, and somehow it was able to hold more. I didn't know it could hold so much. I thought my heart could hold a certain amount of suffering and sadness and pain and pleasure, but suddenly, like, because of the brutality and just the over the top situation that's just beyond comprehension, I thought, wow, my heart has to expand, and it has to hold way more compassion, sadness, so many emotions. So ironically, it's created a new space in my heart, this devastating situation. It doesn't always work, sometimes it closes up again, and the pieces come back together maybe, and they say no space for anyone new, for any new compassion, or but ultimately I sense something has shifted in what I can carry,
Yes.
and how much we can bear. Yeah.
Yeah, how much we can bear, but it's not from the angle of martyrdom, but
Hmm.
it's like from a wondrous capability of generosity, of humanness, of beholding the pain, and not negating our pleasure, and not negating, even not negating happiness, not negating
Hmm.
gratitude for all the gifts that we receive moment by moment, and that we give moment by moment, even though there are rockets being launched right over the rooftop of the living room where you are teaching your class in Tel Aviv. So
Right.
I believe this is so touching, but it refers in a minimal scale to the difficulties that every human in every privileged situation even faces day by day. Like, you
Yeah.
can hit your little toe with the bedside table, and then you're leaving your micro pain, or the neighbor park his car blocking your way out, and you arrive late at work, and the meeting went wrong, and awful. That's a micro awfulness in contrast with the tragedies going on in life. But the principle is still the same, like understanding
Hmm.
that pain, with this like gentle tending to yourself and to reality, you really can make pain to be an anchor to your pleasure, and you can use pleasure as a way to negate gravity, to resist the inevitable that is that we will disappear in entropy. Like, we only live 120 years.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah. Yeah.
some
Take what I can get.
yeah, but that's it. And then gravity does it work, but day by day we can come to our edge, and be present and share our heart and our pleasure, and from all these contradictions. So it's really great to understand that there's it's not expected from you to feel guilty, to feel pleasure, even though there's a lot of people suffering, or even though, like, you can be really suffering and still feel and welcome pleasure, and also happiness. And like, we are so vast, we are so huge, and I believe that only in this realization of openness, letting go, being vulnerable and open, we can behold all these contradictions that make up living. in the times that we live.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, of course, I ask myself, yeah, I wonder the ultimate test of, I mean, we see it with our colleagues in Israel who are going through like real tragedy. I ask myself if it's still a bit of a privilege to experience pleasure, like if people who are in really dire circumstances get that opportunity or not. Like, when it's really, you're just living moment to moment for your life. I don't think pleasure is there. Like I feel like I have to just for a moment ground myself in reality and say it's not always an option. But if it is an option, we take it.
Yes, yes, yes. If it's an option, we take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's crucial because we have to admit life can sometimes be so terrible that it's not. But if it is, if you even see a glimmer of it, you take it.
Yeah.
That means it's for your taking. If it's there, it's for your taking.
Yeah. I'm getting the goosebumps. Yeah. If pleasure is there, it's for you to take it. It's a gift of life, and it's one of those gifts that really give you the blood to endure all the difficulties. And I believe this is a loving resistance
Mm-hmm.
to stay alive inside. Yeah, to welcome it, to take it, like not to shut down, wall off, and not take anything. Like what's good, it's there for you to nourish you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
share?
I guess also.
Yeah.
Now you go.
You say.
Well, I'm asking myself also how we can cultivate its appearance, right? Because for some people, it might not even be in their vision, or in their, let's say they can see beyond just the real sense of vision, but how we can also invite it. Maybe it's not always like, I say, if you see it, you can take it, but what if you can't see it and you want it? How do you bring it into your visual, into your kind of atmosphere? That's an interesting question. I suppose
Yeah.
a practice like Gaga can do that for you.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
providing
Yeah.
you with that. Oh, look, it's over there. Oh, it's right here.
And very interesting that you pose that as a question, because I have the answer that you were the one that gave it in your class. So just for the sensualist to know, I was connected on Zoom on October on the Saturday, October 7th at 1 p.m. EST, and Anna was about to teach Gaga. It was 15 minutes before the class, and the Zoom chat began flooding of panic messages, and I was like, what the fuck? I am in Mexico here chilling, eating mandarins and mangoes. And I Googled in Israel, and the news were from 2 hours ago, like the BBC, NBC, CNN, like think things were happening at that exact moment. And Anna said, like, it's good that we are here together, like that we have each other. Let's dance now. And it was like, yes, let's, and the chat like, yes, thank you. Like in the middle of the world literally falling apart in apocalypse, Anna said, let's dance now.
Oh.
And we did dance. And we started the class, like I was shocked, and I am on the other side of the ocean. And Anna started with the humming, like, and then from the humming, we extended the sensation of the vibration to the humming to our arms. And we were like, I was freaking scared shitless here. Like, I was afraid at an animal level. And at a practical level, for all the people that I love, the colleagues that live in Israel. And as the class go on, we moved to sense the humming in our chest and in our whole body. And then, like, I felt that I was inside myself, and I connected with, with my heart, with my love, and with the pleasure of dancing. And I felt as an act of rebellion, like we are not subscribing to the dark force that those guy wants to impose on us. Like we keep agency on our heart, and this is our epicenter, and we are vibrating with our humming, because this is the natural way. Like this is like love vibration, sensing our bodies, like respecting, like being a source for good. So I feel that's
Yeah,
powerful, really powerful.
yeah, I don't think I didn't have a sense of the gravity of the situation. I knew it was bad, but it was also I was
Shocking.
even then, yeah, shocking. Is it okay to dance? It was a question. Are we okay to dance right now? But almost similar to what I said maybe in the very beginning, like the origin story of me dancing. Like I dance. This is how I am. I dance. We dance. It's what we do. And trusting that process would provide time and space for people to. I mean, also, I think a lot of it, yes, it can be a place for healing, and it can be a place for connection with others. It can also just a little bit of escapism is also okay. It's also okay. I think we see that these days for some people, the 30-minute Gaga online class is the only time that they can think about their bodies and pleasure. And yeah, inviting pleasure into their body. Maybe they are in a little bit of a fantasy inside of this class. Maybe, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
a,
So
a little chance to stay alive inside, stay alive
yeah.
and brimming, groovy on the inside. So Anna, wanna ask you, how can we learn more from you?
Oh, what more for me? Hmm.
Yeah, how
In
can we take your classes?
Yeah, well, I would say first of all, I love that we have a big Gaga community of teachers all over the world and online. But we offer Gaga online every single day, both live classes and recordings. So you can take class on your own time zone whenever you need or your own time. We have a teacher in Mexico City, actually, Cesar. You can take class with him. And yeah, Gaga is ever evolving. We as teachers are ever evolving. You are ever evolving. So class will be different every time, which I love about what we do. And yeah, it's it's always a pleasure. Ultimately, it really truly is always a pleasure to move together.
Yeah,
You know.
it's always a pleasure that we can keep on nurturing, keeping it alive. So to take classes with Anna or with more Gaga teachers, we can go to www.gagapeople.com. That's right. And also, you can go to www.annaharmon. So, if you want to learn more from Anna Harmon, go to www.gagapeople.com or to her website, that is annaharmon.com. Also, if you haven't already, go grab the free guide to awaken sensuality at www.centraldepoder.com. Until the next time, remember to take the time to sense your fire so you can share your flame.